back to Standpoint with Nike. My name is Nike, and
And I am Nike.
in Standpoint with Nike, we are here to inspire, enlighten, and motivate you guys.
And yes, to do that once again today, we have another very special guest, a lady in our community. She's a coach. She's a leader in our community. She's a woman that wears many hats. She's an environmental scientist. She's a banker. She's a pastor's wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's a mother, a successful digital business owner, and our one and only in our community, the original dark chocolate, Coachina King.
Oh my gosh.
It's my pleasure. It is my pleasure to be on here with Nikes. These ladies are so amazing, and it is really an honor, to be here with them and for us to share what it is that we do on the online space. I know some of you must have been seeing a lot of this going on and wondering what is this people talking about, but we are here to tell you that it is working. That is
Yes.
why we're doing it. Right. So I go by Nina, yes, definitely, and I know the name on there says Nena because I'm originally Nigerian. I came to Canada about 15 years ago, and coming to this blessed country, I came here to do my master's degree, which was a second master's degree. And I did find out that Canada wasn't what I thought it was. It's a beautiful country, don't get me wrong, but you don't get anything for free. A lot of things you have to do, you have to work yourself out of your bones in order to make that dollar.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, we joined into the rat race, working corporate jobs. Like Nike said, I have a background in environmental science, and I also worked in the bank as a financial service advisor. And with all these jobs that I did, I knew that I was not fulfilled. I was pretty much not happy with where I was at the time financially because it was like it was from one pay to the next. And we needed something that would change our lives. I was one mother that couldn't drop my kids off at school and I couldn't pick them up. So literally, somebody had to do that for me. And believe you me, it was not free. It came with a cost. So I was paying someone to pick them up and I was paying someone to drop them off and I still paid the daycare. So it was just draining on us as a family. And that was when I began to tell myself, I need to look for something else. I need to look for something else. Regardless of the fact that I graduated from the University of Alberta, I also knew that getting a job of my dreams was within close reach, but at the same time, I knew that I would be making sacrifices because as an environmental scientist, what does that mean? It means I have to go out in the field. I have to leave home some certain times. I have to be like 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off and stuff like that. And as a mother, I don't think I could do that. So I had to settle for what I could settle for. And that was when I began to know that, you know what? I'm not going to get paid based on my degrees right now. I must be looking for something else. And we are here to tell you that as professionals, you can see that these two ladies are nurses. Nurses are, it's a glorious career, to be honest. But at the end of the day, your body pays the deal for it. So, in our business, there is so many things that we've come to share with you why we did this. I'm sharing my why because my why is when I got a wake up call. I got a wake up call in a very terrible way. But today I tell people that even in the worst cases, your situation could bring you blessings. And this is my story. When I got a wake up call was when we had tragedy. Tragedy hit back home so bad that how they say when it rains, it pours. It was not just one death. It was about four that happened in the family. And these were not distant relations or anything. This was back home, like my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my own sister, and an uncle, like a father. So it really hit back home. And that was when we figured that, you know what, with all these jobs that we were doing, we couldn't afford to go back home as a family of five because I'm a mother of three beautiful children. We couldn't afford to go back home altogether. And when this tragedy hit, we had to choose turns. who's going to go home first? My
Oh,
husband lost someone. I too lost someone, but we couldn't afford to go home at the same time. We had to take turns. And that was when it now dawned on us that, you know what, honestly, this is not the life we want.
right.
This is not possible. And it was in that waking moment that I began to look out into the online space. I began to look at what else I can do because at the time when I started this business, which is way back in 2017, so I've been doing this for 6 years, guys, 6 years.
Amazing.
And way back in 2017, that was when I said, you know what, since we cannot afford this, I want us to find a way to start something for myself. I was with child at the time. I just had my baby, and my baby was about 8 months old, and I was on mat leave. So I said, if I can at least pay for my flight ticket back to Nigeria and eventually quit my job in the future, that would be the best thing that I've done for myself. So I set myself a target. And they say sometimes gold doesn't lay on the street. My people, it has to be polished though. You
Oh,
have to
yes.
prepare and then even polish it. It's
Yes.
never clean. So this didn't come clean to me. I had my doubts. I was skeptical. I I felt like, you know what, this is one of those scam things out there again to get you out. And believe you me, my husband and I, we were just scammed 3 months ago before I saw this opportunity. So it was really fresh wound. I'm like, not again. I can't fall for this twice.
Mm.
But they said, if you don't look past your skeptical, you will remain poor. And what do I mean by poor? You would pass over opportunities repeatedly. So I told myself, I'm not going to pass over this opportunity just because I have been scammed before. So fast forward, I started this business, and so at the first couple months, it made me the ticket that I needed to go home. It wasn't enough. Wasn't enough to take my whole family, but it was enough to show me that, you know what, not
It's real.
everything online is a scam. And there was hope
Amazing.
at the end of the tunnel. There was hope.
Wow.
So I made that trip back home, and when I came back, I I began to say, like, this is something that a lot of us Africans don't know. We come to this part of the world. We do two, three jobs. My
Mhm.
husband moved from doing three jobs to one job. Um, I literally retired him for 1 year because he said, "Oh, I just during the COVID time he needed a break," and I said, "You know what? Let's take that break that we need to focus on building ourselves, building our marriage, building
Right.
our relationship, spending time with kids." And my husband was without work for a year.
Wow.
And guess what? This business was what helped us. Like, we wouldn't have been able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that we have bills to pay if we didn't have a plan B. So, fast forward, this business picked up the way I wanted it to, all because of the hard work that I put into it. And at the time when I joined this community, there was not a lot of chocolatas. I
Oh
felt
yeah.
like people wouldn't be into this, because we Africans, we always like hard work. Believe you me, we are very hardworking people. We believe in if you work hard, but two, we are also smart up here.
Oh
And
yeah.
I decided that, you know what, I'm going to use this up here to get that, you know, money that other people don't want to get. So
Yeah.
we came I decided to make a name for myself. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to inspire a whole lot of Africans that can get into this business as much as they can. And I started calling myself the original dark chocolate because there was not a lot of chocolates on there. But believe you me, there are lots of chocolates now.
Oh yeah. You did it. You did it.
But there are lots of chocolates out there. And
Yeah.
that is why we are doing what we are doing today, to show you that there is possibilities
Yes.
beyond what it is that you're looking for. We are not saying that being educated does not pay. Being educated pays. It gives
Yes.
you the exposure. But believe you me, it never puts food on the table. I come from a background of academics. My dad was a professor, my mom was a registrar. And I was toiling in that line, master's, PhD, and I'm like, I just kept on the break. I'm like, no way, man, no PhD yet. Forget about the doctorate because I didn't see the millions my dad left for me. So I'm not going that route. So I decided, you know what? Let me do what is different from society. Let me do what society dares to think
Mhm.
as different, just to be my own boss. And
Yes.
I've been my own boss now for 3 years and counting. I left my job in 2019, just before the COVID. So when everybody was yada 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 with the COVID thing, I was just like, I don't know
Ooh.
what you guys are talking about, because I'm already working from home, right? So I've been my own boss, and believe you me, I don't see myself working for anybody. Why?
Amazing.
This
Not any.
business has been like a stepping stone to so many other things. I know that you may be out there watching these ladies and say, oh, you know what? Each time they come and they are just talking, but sometimes they say a word is enough for the wise. If you are wise enough, you would know that what it is they are doing is very informative, because information is power. It is information that took me to where I am today. If I did not see something that somebody else did, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have been able to change the trajectory of my life. I wouldn't have been able to afford the things that I'm able to afford. I've gotten investments. I've gone into franchising. Like, you see people own $1 billion, and you hear big names and you think that, oh, you know what, they just started from there. No, they started from somewhere, and this
Yes.
could be your somewhere. This could be your
Absolutely.
somewhere. So we are saying that, come and see that information that we're talking about. And listen to what it is that we want to tell you. At the end of the day, if it is not for you, you could always say it's not for you, right? We are part of a community of like-minded people. By the way, before Nike and Nike came into this business, we were I joined this community when it was less than 1,000. That was before these ladies even ever existed,
Wow.
Mm.
right?
Coach.
But today they are
Yes.
here seeing
Yes.
success, which is to tell you it's not about how long you've been in it.
Mm.
You could
Right.
come in tomorrow and you can start seeing success by the next couple
Mm.
months. But
Absolutely.
this is not a push button, get rich quick thing. Oh, no,
No, no.
this is not.
Mhm.
We all have to put in our work. We all have to do what we need to do, but we are doing it smarter. And guess what? We are doing this from the comfort of our homes. Like,
Yes.
seriously,
Yes. So,
that's it. Like, I'm not lifting nothing. I'm not standing, long hours, breaking back.
mhm.
I'm not dealing with irate supervisors and bosses at work, you know what I mean? Or colleagues and stuff like that. I don't have to deal with all that. So this is what you stand to get. You stand to benefit from being your own boss, spending that time that you need with your kids, traveling. Right now, my husband and I, we can just pick up and go wherever it is we want to go to. Even though right now I tell my husband, you're the one who is employed. I'm not, because nobody can from your boss. You come tell me when, and I'll make myself available.
Beautiful.
Because he decided to go back to work, and I'm like, well, I'm not working for anybody. Men don't like house sitting
Yeah.
at home. They like to always go out. Like, suit yourself, that's fine. But he knows that when he needs a break from that
Mm.
so-called work, like, he's working just because he wants to keep fit. And
Right.
Has
that
to.
whenever he wants a break from work, he can always say, you know what, I'll take that break because I know my wife got me covered, right?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
what every woman or every family should aspire to have a plan B, where, you know what, they are not really perturbed when their job says, hey, I no longer need you, because it could
Mhm.
happen at any time. And one of the reasons that even made me go into this, was, before the tragedy, was that 2017, there was a lot of recession. That was
Mm.
even before COVID. Recession hit. And I happened to be in the part of Canada where it's called the oil making area, like where you have more oil sands and everything. So
Yeah.
that area is, they pay people a lot of money, like in Alberta. Like, most of the rich people, I should use that
Mhm.
word, in the oil, are in
Yeah.
Alberta.
Yeah.
But during that 2017, because of the recession, the oil in the oil and gas, they
Mm.
had it so rough. And
Mm.
because myself and my husband were in the oil and gas sector, my husband as a planner and myself as an environmental scientist, our jobs were threatened. We
Mm.
know whether we are going to get laid off the next time. My husband already had a lot of people laid off at his work, and me myself, I never knew when they were going to cut us off because they just kept shedding and shedding and shedding and shedding. So that was when we are like, hey, Lord have mercy, because we don't know if we're going to be next.
Yeah,
And
that was very frightening.
you may think that you have that perfect job, which, believe
Right.
me, my husband and I did have a perfect job. It
Mhm.
is a perfect job, but you can never be guaranteed that they would keep you. They can
No.
always tell you, thank you so much for your services. We have to let you go. You are the best employer. They give you a
Oh,
plaque, they give you some funds,
They
and
give
they
you
still
10.
would let you go. Yeah, they give you a pen, something,
okay.
they
Mm.
let you go. And
Oh,
that's it. You don't have anything else to fall back on if you don't make yourself a plan B. So that
yeah.
was when I told me and my husband, we said, oh, know what, let's just start looking. And that was why we went into the first one that we went into that
Mm.
burned us so bad. But that was not enough. That was
Hmm.
not enough to just keep us down. We said, no, we'll rise up and we'll
Mm.
try again. And
I
believe
love
you me, I was able to come out of that debt
Wow.
way better. This business has paid me 10 times more than I've invested,
ah,
times.
huge.
It's something that should be a good plan for you, not
Yeah.
just for you as a person, but think about your family, what it can
Mhm.
do for you and your family. It
Right.
just doesn't stop at your family, it extends. They say if you're not just going to be blessed, you're going to be a blessing. So it is our goal that we are not just being blessed.
Yes,
That is
alone.
why we want to be a blessing to you watching this, because that is what this is about. It is for us to inspire you to know that there is better things out there. All right. So
Honestly speaking, I have a lot of things I really wanted to touch based on what you have been discussed. It's come to think of it with all your degrees and everything. And when you were talking about the work, look at that moment in your life when your job actually was threatened. And it's like everything we just fall apart, you know, because with your qualification and everything, and you have that perfect job out there that pays you, and all of a sudden everything almost flipped upside down. That was very frightening. And
oh
that is
yeah,
what we always say, like, no matter how many degree we have, like, especially we Africans, we love degrees. It doesn't matter where we go in life, we still get more degree.
I'm
Like,
telling you, that is a fact.
it's in the
That is
blood. But some people get stuck with that stigma of like, oh yeah, I have two PhD. I am in, like, yeah. Imagine telling yourself, no, I'm an environment. I'm a banker and stuff. Like, why will I be doing? That stigma. People get stuck with it. Like, oh yeah, why will I be doing online stuff? I have PhD. But this is something you cannot carry on to your children. No
yes.
one in your family can inherit your degrees. But this
Thank you.
business is something you are creating a legacy for your generations to come. Even with that job, like you, all of a sudden they said, "Oh yeah, well, we appreciate your work for the past maybe 35 years or maybe 40 years of your life, and we just have to let you go." If you have your own thing and other streams of income on the side,
Exactly, exactly. No longer trading my time for money. I decided to take leave of absence. I told you I had tragedies. How
yeah,
many days of tragedy did they give me? 5 days. 5 days to travel to Africa and back?
But
Like, seriously? I spent two on the road.
oh yes, 200, yeah. Yeah,
So,
and by the time you wake up for the rest of the three, jet lag and
like,
everything.
no, you still have to move from Lagos to the
Oh
east, right? Another
yeah.
one.
exactly. Exactly. So I'm like, 5 days? You give me 5 days? I said, no, I can't take 5 days. If it's not, I lost two family members. And
Wow.
I began to negotiate bereavement time. And I'm like, what an arrant nonsense is. I'm like, am I buying akara here? Am I buying crayfish? You know what? I had to tell my boss, and I said, you know what day, just tell me, what am I allowed? They said, oh, we can only approve for 5 days. I said, okay, then I'm taking another five. And then you not get paid for it. So be it.
It's crazy,
How
coach.
would I have been able to say so be it? if I
Exactly.
didn't have
Exactly.
family.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can imagine being bereaved and trying to negotiate time.
Fine.
If it is a company or if it is your employer values you, they would understand your sanity. And I told them, you know what? I will take that leave 5 days. Don't pay me.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. But my sanity is important. I
Exactly.
needed to get closure.
Yes. Yes.
Because at the end of the day, when a lot of us Africans don't do, we
Yeah.
think that it's all about working, working, working. We don't even take time for ourselves. We don't even take time to reset.
No.
Honestly, that was when I knew that employer, not my thing anymore. I will
Yeah.
rather tell me that we do this as long as my body can carry me because it costs me nothing.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. Even
Absolutely.
the brick and mortar that I'm going to open, that is even more demanding than this.
And
Yes.
this.
So. Yes.
So
So.
I'm never leaving this.
Hmm.
This is for a fact. I'm still going to be doing this. And we have this business so automated that I can go ahead and do other things and this business still runs. Right?
That's right.
I can do it from anywhere at
Mhm.
any time. I
Yes.
deal with people from different time zones. So even
Mhm.
when you think that store is closed in Canada, shop is open in Europe.
Oh
There's
yes.
no tell me about it, right?
Yes.
When you think shop is closed in Europe, shop is open in Africa.
Oh
I'm
yes.
people from different parts of the world and
Mhm.
people. So this business is global and it's
Yes.
something that we pride ourselves in sharing because it has changed lives,
Yes.
mine included, and I'm sure you
Ours too.
The eyes. Yes.
the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But absolutely. It's true. We cannot compare 6 years to, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's been amazing. It's just a lot to take away today. All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys. For those of you who join us, those of you who will be watching us later, we hope that we have touched your life in one way or the other. We hope that we are in one way or the other, like enlighten you, motivate you, and of course, inspire you. And hopefully, you can have that courage to step forward and get out of your boundary, and maybe find that person you really, really deserve to be, and find your value out of something. All right,
Yes.
guys. Thank you. Until next time, we'll see you again.
Okay. Bye bye.